So till now we have covered almost every technical concept of capital gain. Almost technical. Technical in what sense? Where there are some calculations and computations involved. So again, let me make a quick revision of what we have covered or how we should proceed to solve the numericals of capital gain. Let me help it with the help of this slide or screen. So let me start writing that in what steps we need to follow whenever we think of solving the numericals of income under the head capital gains. Always remember that first of all you will refer section 45 plus 2 clause 14 to clause 47 and section 47. This is your first stage. You have to apply this concept. After this you will move to taking a decision regarding whether the asset is long term or short term, and that will depend on type of the asset plus holding period of the asset. Type of asset means name of the asset. This is my stage 2. I should follow these stages if I want to solve the numerical correct. Then now I will determine income under the head capital gain. It can be long term or short term. It depends on what mode of computation. Section 48. Then I must be having actual cost of the capital asset to the SSC. I must be having it with me. I must be having this asset. Either I am having this cost directly, or if I am not having directly, then I will take the help of section 14(9), where I become the owner of the asset because of some situations which are other than the situations when I actually purchased it. Once I am having actual cost, then I will go to determine cost of acquisition, section 55. I must determine cost of improvement, section 55. I must determine indexed cost of acquisition. On the basis of cost of acquisition, I will determine indexed cost of acquisition, and on the basis of cost of improvement, I will determine indexed cost of improvement. This will tell me, this is my third stage, it will tell me the amount of income under the head capital gains. It can be long-term gain or long-term loss, or it can be short-term capital gain or short-term capital loss. These two are additionally required only for long-term. If I have only short-term, my work is over till this point. Till this point, I will get a decision of short-term. If I have long-term, I will simply extend this additional work. That's it. And this gives me long-term. This is my stage 3. Please raise your hands if we have understood this point. Or if this structure is clear, please raise your hands. If you are confident about this structure, please raise your hands. You might not remember it exactly, you might not remember the provisions exactly, but at least you must be having this structure in your mind, clear structure in your mind. Okay, so now I am proceeding further. Next stage, exemptions under the head capital gains. So what we have discussed earlier, So today itself in the morning what we have discussed is this 12th point, determination of indexed cost of acquisition. Point number 13, determination of indexed cost of improvement and some notes. Point 14, the treatment of advance money received and forfeited, section 51. And point 15, where stamp duty value will be taken as sale value for the purpose of computing capital gains. So now I am starting with 16th heading. Exemptions. Under the head capital gains. Under the head salary, were there any exemptions under the head salary? Yes. There were some exemptions within the different topics, subtopics. Like in leave encashment, there might be some exemption. In gratuity, there might be some exemption. Provident fund might be some exemption. Children education allowance might be some exemptions, etc., etc. But from final gross salary, there was deduction under section 16. Exemption is that thing which you never include it as an income. In house property also, was there any exemption? Yes. I discussed with you around 9 to 10 cases of rental income where it is 100% tax free, which is tax free. So that is exempt. But from final or to get final taxable house property income, there were deductions under section 24. In capital gain, deductions we have already used. Deductions we have already used. While determining capital gain, we start from sale and less what? Expense on sale. So expense on sale is nothing but deduction. Less cost of acquisition or indexed cost of acquisition. It depends if long term or short term, it depends. Cost of improvement or indexed cost of improvement. So these all are what? These all are what? Deductions. And after doing this calculation, sale less expense on sale, less cost, I get some capital gain. Suppose 80 lakh is my capital gain. Now the topic which I'll discuss will start from here. So now I am using the word exemptions. That if you have this income, can it be tax free? Can it be exempt? So once I computed capital gain, then this concept starts. Once I computed capital gain by applying the provisions of section 48, sale less expense on sale, less cost of acquisition or indexed cost of acquisition, less cost of improvement or indexed cost of improvement, then my work of exemption starts. Because when I am having income under the head capital gain, then I will finally decide whether it is taxable or it might be exempt. So now what I will discuss will start from here, or the application of exemption starts after you have computed income under the head capital gains. Is it clear? If yes, please raise your hands. Once you have computed income after applying the provisions of sale minus, or after applying this format, sale minus expense on sale minus cost of acquisition or indexed cost of acquisition minus cost of improvement or indexed cost of improvement, then whatever figure you have, that you will use, or on that figure, or for that figure you have to take a decision whether it is exempt or not. So now I will start discussing with you different exemptions. We have around 7 to 8 exemptions. If we are covered under those conditions of those respective sections, then my gain will be tax free, will become exempt. So today I will discuss only first exemption, exemption under section 54. Otherwise the total exemptions are 54, 54B, section 54D, 54EC, 54EE, 54F, 54G, 54GA, GB, but relevant ones are these. These are relevant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let us start with 54. So first exemption. Exemption under section 54, and do remember these sections are only for capital gain topic. Don't give or use these sections in other heads. Exemptions under section 54. So what it says, conditions. This exemption is available only to an individual or HUF. Second, what you have transferred, you must have sold. Sale of a long term, not short term. One thing is sure that the asset which is transferred is long term residential property. Whenever you sell a residential house in which you have long term gain, then only you can use it. If you are selling a house and if you are having short term gain, then you cannot use this exemption. Can you tell me, after holding for how many years or how many months the gain on sale of residential house will be long term? Can you tell me, after holding the residential house for how many months the gain will be long term?
So 24 months?
Yes, 24 months. After holding it for 24 months, if I'm selling the residential house, then my gain will be long term, otherwise short term. Third, so what is the purpose of basically 54? Suppose I'm having one house and my job is in Delhi. If my job is moved to Mumbai, or if I have to move to Mumbai for long term, for example, then I will sell Delhi house and I will purchase another house in Mumbai. Now, if you are collecting tax from me from Delhi house as a middle class person, I will not purchase my own house in Mumbai because I will be afraid that if I will sell my Delhi house, I have to pay tax on capital gain. I'll become a little bit afraid as a middle class person. And here my intention was not to sell the house for my own wish. I want to sell the house in Delhi because of my compulsion that I have to move to Mumbai and there I will purchase another house. So that is why section 54 comes into picture to save me. It says that if you are selling this Delhi house, when you purchase another house in Mumbai, we will not collect any tax from you. So what is the condition is, the assessee should, if you are selling this residential house, the assessee must purchase or construct, either you acquire as it is or construct one residential house in India. You are selling one, purchase one, there is no problem. Government says we will not collect any tax. If your intention is genuine, then you should purchase another residential house in India. But the limits are what? If I want to purchase, I should purchase the house within 1 year before or within 2 years after. After what? The sale of original house. This Delhi house is known as original house. I'm calling it as original house because I will purchase. I'm purchasing and I'm selling a house, and I will purchase another house. So there should not be any confusion. That is why the house which I'm selling, I'm using the word original house, and the house which I'm purchasing is the house. So that original is only for the purpose of removing any confusion. It is nothing but sold house. So the date on which I am selling the house, within 1 year before or within 2 years after that sale, I should purchase another house in India. Or if I don't want to purchase, no issue. If I want to construct, then construction requires more time. Then you say within 3 years after. After what? After the sale of original houses, not houses. After the sale of original house, I should use. I will tell you this by giving the dates. But if these three conditions are satisfied, suppose I am an individual, I am selling a house in Delhi, and there is a gain of 80 lakh rupees. So if I want to make sure that my 80 lakh income will become tax free, then I have to purchase or construct another house residential in India, not commercial, residential. Time limit is department is giving me a time. The date you have sold the house within 1 year before, even if you have purchased any house within 1 year before this sale, then also that amount which you have invested in purchasing the house will become exempt. Why this 1 year before limit is given? Because so many times it is possible that today, as an individual, I think that today the properties price are less. After 4 or 5 months, the property price might rise. So in that case, I can take a decision that today I want to purchase, and after 4 or 5 months, when the rates will rise, I will sell my house. So even 1 year before is covered, or within 2 years after. For construction, nothing is before. It is only within 3 years after. If these three conditions are satisfied, the amount invested, so whatever is your amount invested within this eligible time limit in purchasing or construction, whatever you decide. So whatever you invest is or will be exempt from tax under section 54. That's it. It's very simple. Let me give you a small illustration and you will yourself tell me the answer. So let me discuss from my book an illustration given on page 7.29. Illustration A. Just think logically. X, a resident individual, has earned a long-term capital gain of 17 lakh in the previous year 2021 by selling a house residential on 10th December 20. So directly sale less expense on sale, less indexed cost of acquisition, less indexed cost of improvement. Directly they have given the answer of gain. My LTCG is how much? 17 lakh. Previous year 2021. And on which date I have sold the house? 10th December 20. I sold the house, residential house, and I earned a gain. The house was purchased by him 10 years ago. Since this house was purchased by him 10 years ago, by default the gain is long term. Now can you tell me, can I claim exemption of 17 lakh under section exempt under section 54? Can I claim the exemption? Yes. I am an individual. I have transferred a residential house which is long term. So if I want to exempt 17 lakh, do you know what I should do? I should purchase from this date. Can you tell me those dates now? Can you tell me those dates? Within 1 year before, that means starting from 11 December 2019 and ending date will be 9th December 2022. It is within 2 years and it is 1 year before. If my original date on which I am selling the house is 10th December 2020, then within 1 year before, that means from 11th December 2019 till 10th December, if I have purchased any house, or if within 2 years after, from 10th December 20 till 9th December 22, if I have purchased any house, then whatever is the cost of this purchase, I will write this as exemption under section 54. If I want to construct, then I have 3 years limit plus 3, not 1 year before. Then starting from 10th December, okay, starting from 10th December till when? Can you tell me till when? 9th December 2023. These are those dates in which if you are making the investment in purchasing another residential house in India, then whatever is the cost of investment, that will become exempt, and that amount you can deduct from the original long-term capital gain, and the difference will be known as final LTCG. So if you make an investment of 17 lakh, nothing will be taxable. If you make an investment of 10 lakh, 7 lakh will be taxable. If you make an investment of 50 lakh, then maximum exemption will be 17 lakh, because your exemption cannot exceed your income. That's it. Please raise your hand if this point is clear. The main intention behind giving the exemption is to save the genuine people. The government is not interested in collecting unnecessary tax. But if I'm selling a house, then I should purchase another residential house within this time limit. If this is the case, then whatever I invest, that will be reduced from my long-term capital gain, and on difference, the difference value will be treated as income which is taxable under the capital gains. Any doubt? If you have, you please ask. Okay, next point. But the main intention of the government is to make sure that people unnecessarily do not face any problem. Now, what people can do, that they will get the exemption and next day they will sell this house which they have just purchased. What I can do is, on 10th December I am selling the house, I got the exemption, and just the next day I will again resell this house. So government says no, there is a restriction on you. You cannot sell this house within 3 years from the date of its purchase or construction, whatever is the case. Consequences. So this is my next. Within the same section, there are some limits. Consequences: if the house which has been purchased or constructed, this house, okay, this new house, if the house which has been purchased or constructed and on which exemption is claimed, and on which is transferred within 3 years from the date of its purchase or construction. Whatever. You cannot sell this house, or not, you cannot. You should not sell this house within 3 years. If you do so, there will be penalties on you. So leave 4 or 5 lines blank here. Leave 4 or 5 lines blank, and then let me give you a small illustration. Then you will yourself understand that what will happen. So let me give you a small illustration again from my book, page 7.30. Illustration B. Just think logically. Continuing the above illustration A. Now what other above illustration was going on? Do you remember what above illustration was? Previous year 2021 is going on. Long term gain was 17 lakh. And sale date was what? Do you remember sale date? It was 10 December 2020. And if I wanted to gain exemption, what options I had for purchase? The date was 9 December 2019 till 11 December 19 till 9 December 2022. And for construction, I had 9 December 2023. These were the eligible time limits. Now what I did in my illustration number B. Continuing the above illustration A. Suppose he purchases a residential house in India on 30th June 21. 30th June 21. Somewhere here. 30th June 21. He purchased a house in India on 30th June 21 for 15 lakh. He purchased a residential house for 15 lakh. Can you tell me the treatment of 15 lakh? I purchased a residential house in India on 30th June 21. Can you tell me the treatment of 15 lakh?
Sir, it's exempt.
Yes, it will be exempt. Less. Exemption under section 54. Since I purchased this another house within the time limit, 15 lakh is the exemption, no issue. So in the previous year, the taxable LTCG becomes only 2 lakh. In the previous year 2021, taxable LTCG becomes 2 lakh, and previous year 2021 is over. That's it. But what do you mean by this consequence? The consequence was this house of 15 lakh should not be transferred. So there will be penalty prosecutions. In what sense? That I will tell. It should not be transferred till 3 years from the date of its purchase or construction. Now, what is the restriction on me? What restriction I should follow if I want to save the tax? The restriction is this house on which you got the exemption. When you purchased it, 30th June 21. This house you got purchased on 30th June 21. You should not transfer it. Can you tell me till which date I should not transfer? To show the genuineness to the tax department, I should not transfer. Can you tell me till which date? 29th June 2024. Is it clear? I should not sell this house till 29th June 2024. After this I can sell, there is no problem. If you do so, then you will have to incur some loss. In what sense? In the same illustration, the question says, suppose he sold this house on 28th June 23. This is what the question says. Illustration says, suppose The assessee sold the house. On 28th June 2023 for rupees 24 lakh. He committed a mistake. He got the exemption of 15 lakh in the previous year 2021 because he purchased this house. He should not have sold this house. He should not sell this house till 29th June 24. That means till 3 years from the date of its purchase or construction, whatever is the case. Till 3 years you have to keep this house with you. In case you do so, if you sell the house during this 3-year period, then what will happen? Now logically, can you tell me what will happen? Logically, I'm not telling you the provision. You have to think rationally. Income Tax Act says that I should not sell this house till 29th June 24, but I did. I sold the house on 28th June 23. That means before this time limit. Can you tell me this date comes in which year? Previous year 23-24. Now can you tell me in previous year 23-24 what will happen? Can you think logically what should happen in 23-24?
Sir, 15 lakh will become the long-term capital gain in the previous year 23-24.
No, don't say what it will become. But one thing is sure, that in this year when I am selling the house, first thing is sure, without any penalty provisions, I have to compute capital gain. Since I am selling the house, I will compute capital gain. This is sure. As per section 45, which is the starting section, since I am selling the capital asset, I will compute capital gain. The way of calculation will change. How will I compute capital gain here? How much sale value I will write? Can you tell me how much sale value I will write?
24 lakh.
24 lakh. Again, remember that stage flow chart which I have told you. In the previous year 23-24, I applied section 45. I applied section 214 also because it's a capital asset. I applied section 2 clause 47 also because it is a transfer. I applied section 47 also because it is not a transfer which is not, it is not a transaction which is not transfer. It is transfer. Then second stage, which asset is this? Can you tell me this house which I am selling is a long-term asset or short-term? Which asset is this? Long-term or short-term?
Sir, it should be short-term.
How? So what is the name of the asset? So how do you determine long-term, short-term? Name of the asset, house. Holding period, how you have determined holding period?
Sir, within 24 months from the date of acquisition.
That means 30th June 21. Till which date? Till which date? Till which date?
Sir, 28 June 23.
27. Immediately preceding the date of transfer. Do you remember that?
Okay, sir.
Since this period does not exceed more than 2 years, this period is less than equal to 2 years. Gain or loss is short term. If it is short term, it's very simple. Sale minus what? Expense on sale. So I am computing the gain in the previous year 23-24. Sale 24 lakh. Expense on sale nil. Can you tell me the cost of acquisition? Can you tell me the cost of acquisition? Can you tell me the cost of acquisition? Suppose you don't know the concept. What is the simple cost of acquisition?
So
Had there been,
it should have been 15 lakh.
yeah, had there been no such consequences, the purchasing cost is 15 lakh. But Since I have transferred this house within 3 years, cost of acquisition for the purpose of computing capital gains in case of selling of this house which has been sold within 3 years on which exemption has been claimed. Cost of acquisition for the purpose of computing capital gains in case of selling of this house is equal to cost of acquisition minus amount of exemption claimed earlier. And then government says whatever exemption you have claimed, indirectly we will take back that exemption. Amount of exemption claimed. Though government says your cost should have been 15 lakh, but since you have already claimed from us exemption, we will take back this exemption which you have claimed under section 54. Technically, you will say that your cost is nil. This is the way they have taken back your exemption. So my cost indirectly becomes nil. And this is, since it is short term, it will become my short term capital gain in the previous year 23-24. This is the implication which I have to suffer, or this is the problem which I will face. Either I should not take the exemption, or if I want to take the exemption under section 54, don't sell this house at least for 3 years. You sell it after 3 years, there is no problem. No exemption will be taken back. But if you sell it within 3 years, they will take back the exemption. How they are taking back the exemption? Because when you will compute the new capital gain, when you are selling this house on which you have taken the exemption, your cost will not be 15 lakh. From this cost, you will remove the exemption which you have taken, and difference will become your cost. This is the discussion on this consequence. Please raise your hand if this point is clear. Otherwise, you can ask me the doubt.
Sir,
Yes.
if they say sell this house but still follow the conditions of section 54, which is to say that they go ahead and buy a new residential property
They will
within
again,
that time,
yeah, they will again get back the exemption.
but for that property purposes out of 24 lakhs, right?
Yeah, of course. There is no, that is another concept then. So then another question starts indirectly.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Next point now. But purchasing a decision or taking the decision of house property is not an easy task. So if you carefully see what is happening in my example, I am selling the house on 10th December 20. I am selling the house on 10th December 20. This date comes in previous year 2021. Let me show the next screen. Deposit scheme. So this is within the same section. It is capital gains deposit account scheme. Just think carefully. Same example, just think carefully. What is happening? There is a date. Suppose let me make it as a calendar. It is previous year 2021. And the chain goes on. 21, 22. These all are previous years. What is now this year ends on 31st March, that we know. This year ends on 31st March 2021. On 10th December 20, I am selling this house. On 10th December 20, I am selling the house. And what is the time limit given to me? If I want to purchase, I have coming 2 years. 2 years means 9 December 2022, which lies somewhere here. Okay. 9 December 2022 lies somewhere here. And for construction, I have 9th December 2023. Is this clear? Please raise your hand if you have understood this structure. Discussing the same question, I have simply written those dates. Please raise your hands if you have understood these dates. It's nothing new, it's same date. But in the previous example, fortunately, I purchased the house on 30th June 21. Fortunately, I purchased the house on 30th June 21. Fortunately. But suppose till 30th June 21, I haven't taken the decision. I will purchase the house. I will purchase the house on 9th October 2022. I need time to decide. Suppose this is my intention. I want to purchase the house on this date. Just tell me, if I want to purchase the house on this date, am I eligible for exemption or not? Just tell me this thing. Am I eligible for exemption or not? Am I eligible for exemption under section 54?
If the purchase takes place on that date, yes.
Yeah, of course. Purchase will take place on that date. But department is not going to wait for me for filing return of income by this date. Actual selling is taking place in the previous year 2021. What is the due date of filing return of income of 2021? What is the due date to file the return of income of 2021? Can you tell me what is the due date of an individual to file the return of 2021? 31st July 21. So if I am computing the income of previous year 2021, where my LTCG is 17 lakh, and the last date is to file the return of income is 31st July 21. If I want to purchase the house on 9th October 22, how will I claim the exemption here? Because government is not going to wait for me till 9th October 2022 to furnish the return of income. But in section 54, they are saying that you can purchase this house till this date. So in this situation, how will the assessee solve the problem? Is the problem clear? In section 54, you say that you have 2 years time to purchase the house, you will get the exemption. But my question is, if the maximum due date or the last date by which I should furnish the return of income is 31st July 20, what is the benefit when the department says that I can purchase the house till 9th December 2022 in my example? Have you understood the problem? Please raise your hand if you have understood the problem. At one stage, you are saying that you file the return of income by 31st July 21. But in another section, you say that if you want to claim the exemption, we are giving you 2 years or 3 year limit. But how can I claim that benefit of 2 years or 3 years limit? Because maximum I have 31st July 21 to file the return of income. If I don't purchase the house or if I don't construct the house till 31st July 21, then I will end up paying the tax entirely on 17 lakh rupees. What is the benefit of then section 54? Is the issue clear? Please raise your hand if the issue is clear, not the solution, issue. Are you understanding that what problem we are facing as an assessor? What problem I am facing? That last date you are giving me is 31st July 21. if till 31st July 21 I don't purchase or construct the house, I will end up paying tax on 17 lakh rupees. After this, if I purchase or construct, what is the use then? Please raise your hand if the issue is clear. Any doubt you can ask me. If the issue is still unclear, you can ask me the doubt, because it is necessary for you to first understand the issue. If not clear, you ask me the doubt. Okay, I'm assuming that issue is clear, question is clear. So what is the solution? The solution is government says that we are giving you an option of capital gain deposit account scheme, where you deposit, where government says that we know that the last date is 31st July 21. But if you are not interested in purchasing the house till 31st July 21, no issue. But you show us your intention. You deposit the amount which you think you will invest in coming years till that 2-year or 3-year limit. Whatever amount you think you will invest, you deposit the amount in a separate bank account. Deposit the amount in capital gain deposit account scheme. This account you can open in a bank, and this account will show your authenticity or your real intention, that yes, you are really interested in purchasing or constructing the house. So though you might not have actually purchased the house or constructed the house till 31st July 2021, but till this date, deposit the amount till, at least if you are not purchasing or investing, at least you deposit till this date. So whatever you will deposit, you will get the exemption. On the basis of deposit only, though you have not actually purchased or constructed, but on the basis of deposit only, you will get the exemption under section 54 in the same previous year 2020-21. This is the benefit of capital gain deposit account scheme. So let me discuss illustration number C. Again from my book, page number 7.30, illustration C. Same example is going on. Continuing the above illustration A, suppose he has not taken the decision of purchasing or constructing the residential house till 31st July 21. He can still claim the exemption if he deposit the amount in capital gain deposit account scheme. Now let us suppose that same question is going on previous year 2021, where the sale, where LTCG was 17 lakh. Now what question says, he has deposited 14 lakh on 31st July 21 in capital gain deposit account scheme for the purpose of claiming exemption. He has deposited 14 lakh on this date. I will get the exemption only on the basis of this deposit also. Only on the basis of deposit also. Only on the basis of deposit I got the exemption, and taxable LTCG becomes only 3 lakh. But ultimately, what you have to do from this deposit amount? You have to withdraw the amount which you have deposited. Deposited amount must be withdrawn from the bank. Deposited amount to be withdrawn till those eligible dates. What are those eligible dates? For purchase, the maximum date was 9th December 2022 in my example, and for construction the maximum date was 9th December 2023. You have to withdraw from this account and utilize this 14 lakh for purchase till 9th December 22 or for construction till 9th December 2023, because the real intention of deposit was only to give you this time. This is what the point is. Please raise your hand if you have understood it. You got the benefit, but you have to actually withdraw and purchase the house within the time limit. Okay, now are you having lecture at 2:45?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. I'll take 15 to 20 minutes more so that I can wind up entire section 54. Now what? Now, can you sense another problem which can arise? Can you sense another problem which can arise? I got the exemption of 14 lakh, but I didn't utilize the amount till 9 December 22 or 9 December 23. So within section 54, another problem now arises. Consequences if the deposited amount is not utilized within the eligible time limit. Consequences if the deposited amount is not utilized within the eligible time limit. In the previous example, what is the maximum time limit? This time limit. So what is the rule? Can you think logically? What is the rule? Or what should be the rule? Can you think logically? Just as a rational person, just think logically. I deposited 14 lakh and I got the exemption. And I have not utilized 14 lakh in purchasing or constructing the house within the time limit. So logically, what should happen to me? Can you think logically?
So same as the consequences of selling the house before 3 years is over?
No. In this case, I'm not selling anything.
So sir, we can just add it to the income in that manner.
As what? Which income?
In total income according to capital gains.
Which capital gain will be that? It should be long term or short term or what? What is happening now is I got the exemption in previous year 2021 and my which gain was reduced? This deposit amount reduced which gain? Can you tell me which gain it reduced?
LTCG.
So by default, if you are not utilizing the amount, then unutilized amount will be treated as LTCG. That's it. This is what the consequence. Unutilized amount. Since deposited amount reduced my LTCG, unutilized should increase my LTCG. So unutilized amount, not should be, will be taxable as LTCG. This is one thing. Can you tell me which year? Now this is another question. As LTCG, in which year? In the year in which can you tell me in this case when I deposited 14 lakh rupees, suppose this amount is not utilized by these dates, can you tell me on which date now it will become taxable? Logically, can you tell me on which date unutilized amount becomes taxable? On which date unutilized amount is taxable? What is the maximum last date? In this example, what is the maximum last date? For purchase, the last date was 9 December 22 and for construction the last date was 9 December 23. So maximum the government will wait for 9 December 23. After this, if you are utilizing, then that is no use. So on 10th December 23, I can say in the year in which the time limit of 3 years expires. In my example, that date is 10th December 2023. This is the date on which unutilized amount will become taxable. Let me discuss this with the help of illustration again from my book. Page 7.31, illustration E. Continuing the same illustration was C. So continuing the same illustration C, where in the previous year 2021 there was LTCG of 17 lakh. I deposited 14 lakh, and on the basis of deposit I got the exemption under section 54, and I ended that year with 3 lakh taxable gain. I only paid the tax on 3 lakh taxable LTCG. Now suppose in the same illustration where I have deposited 14 lakh till due date of filing return of income, suppose I have utilized 13 lakh for purchasing the house till 9th December 22. Now this is what the question says. Suppose out of 14 lakh, 13 lakh has been utilized. For purchasing the house. Till, can you tell me, do you remember the last date which was there for purchasing the house? What is the last date which was there for purchasing the house? What is the last date which was there?
9 December 2020. 2022.
2022. This is that date, purchasing. So till 9 December 22. Suppose 13 lakh has been utilized for purchasing the house till 9 December 22. That's it. What is unutilized amount? Out of 14 lakh, unutilized amount is 1 lakh. This unutilized amount will be taxable as LTCG because now I am not applying section 45 because now I am not selling anything. I am only taking the consequences. So this unutilized amount, I claimed the benefit from department 14 and I utilized only 13. So unutilized 1 should be taxable as LTCG because this 14 earlier reduced your LTCG. This 14 reduced your LTCG. The taxable LTCG became 3 lakh in the previous year 2021. Had you deposited only 13 lakh, your taxable LTCG would have been 4 lakh. So same is happening now, that this remaining 1 lakh is taxable as LTCG on which date? When the limit of 3 years expires, because government will make maximum till 3 years. That is the last day, this date, till 9 December 23. It will taxed on next day, the moment 3 years limit expired, 12 December 23. And 12 December 23 comes in which previous year? 23-24. In the previous year 23-24, this unutilized amount will become taxable as LTCG. Please raise your hands if this is clear. Very interesting. It might look a little bit difficult, but the moment you start reading it, it will become very interesting. Please raise your hands because we will start relating it with logic also, that yes, these are logical things. Another problem in section 2054 itself. Another problem. Next problem is the another problem is if I have purchased a house, till due date of filing return of income, as well as deposited the amount. Both the things I have done. In capital gain deposit account scheme till due date of filing return of income. This is very problematic situation. Suppose same example. Again, I will discuss this with the help of illustration given in my book on concept building approach, page 7.30. Illustration D. Now think logically what is happening. In the previous year 2021, what happened? In the previous year 2021, on 10th December, on 10th December 20, I think, yes, 10th December 20, what happened? I sold a house. Sale, my LTCG was 17 lakh. Because on 10th December, I sold a house. I know that I can purchase the house within 1 year before or within 2 years after. For construction, it is 3 years after. And if I don't take the decision of purchasing or construction till due date of filing return of income, what is the due date? What is the due date? Do you remember what is the due date of an individual for this year? 31st July 21. Because this year will end on which date? What is the ending date of this year? 31st March 21. So government gives me around 4 months extra where I can compile all the information of the previous year 2021 and 4 months are sufficient. Till 31st March 2021, I might not compile the information of income earned during 2021, but 4 months are given, and in 4 months I have to submit the record to the government in the form of return of income. Now, rule says of section 54 that you purchase or construct within the time limit or you deposit, but I did both the things. What my illustration says, suppose I purchased a house of 2 lakh on 2nd June 20. Now, this is what is happening in my illustration. You have to think logically. Purchased a residential house. If I'm writing house, by default you should assume that it is a residential house for rupees 2 lakh. On which date? On 2nd June 2021. That means till due date of filing return of income. Plus, not only this, what I did. This person is very intelligent. What it did? It deposited rupees 14 lakh also. He deposited rupees 14 lakh also till 31st July 21. Do you remember what is happening? I purchased a house till due date of filing return of income for 2 lakh. And since I have the time limit of due date of filing return of income, I deposited 14 lakh also. Already I have purchased a house and I have deposited the amount also in the same year. Do you remember the provisions, or can you tell me logically how much will be the exemption in section 54? Think logically and tell. Ignore the law. But do you think what should happen in this case? Any answer? How much logically should be my exemption in section 54?
Sir, 2 lakh actual purchase or construction should take priority over deposit, because you never know if the deposit is actually going to get utilized or not.
Any other answer? So one answer is that 2 lakh is the exemption. Any other answer? The reason which you have given is wrong, that you never get to know whether this deposited amount is going to be utilized or not. That is a wrong reason, because already when you allow the exemption for deposit, in those cases also you never know whether you can utilize that amount or not. So the reason which you have given is wrong. Answer might be correct, 2 lakh, but the reason of deposit is not correct. If income tax department allows the exemption of deposit, then it is allowed. So that reason is wrong. Now any other answer? For how many houses you get the exemption under section 54? Anyone who remember? For how many houses maximum I will get the exemption under section 54?
So one.
1. So Act says that only for one residential house you get the exemption. Only for one residential house you get the exemption. And one is already purchased. Only for one house you get the exemption. Or not this one. I have encircled wrong one. I should have encircled above one. Only for one residential house you get the exemption. And what happens in my illustration? What is happening in my illustration? That I got this house on 2nd June. So amount deposited is 14 lakh. Now after this discussion, can you tell me how much will be the exemption in section 54? $16 lakh. I will get the exemption still 16 lakh. 2 lakh which has already been utilized, and 14 lakh which is deposited till due date. Because Income Tax Act says that till due date, Income Tax Act says that till due date, whatever you deposit, that amount plus amount invested is treated as investment in one house. The department doesn't take it as two houses. They say that return filing is for the previous year 2021. So whatever you have purchased plus amount deposited, it is treated as investment in one house for the purpose of giving exemption. So logically, I should get the exemption of 2 lakh, but department gives me a benefit that till due date of filing return of income, if you have purchased or constructed a house, and beyond that also, if you are depositing the amount, that deposit amount is also valid. Combined investment is treated as single investment. So you get the exemption of both the amounts in this case. Please raise your hand if this point is clear. This might be a little bit different point, but this is what the provisions of the Act says. Till due date, whatever you have purchased or constructed plus amount deposited, together these two are treated as one investment in one house. So you get the exemption. Next issue within section 54. Next issue. So how many within section 54? There are so many points which you need to remember. First, my original condition. That was point number 1. Then that consequence, if you sell the house within 3 years. Then capital gain deposit account scheme. Then treatment of unutilized amount. Then if both the things are happening till due date, and then sixth main point, normally the capital gain exemption of section 54 is given when you purchase one house, but in one case, two houses can also be purchased and you will get the exemption. Because in India, in middle class families, or normally in every family, it can happen that there are two children of a couple, and what couple wants to do? The couple wants to sell their house, and so that the children have become now at that level where they need separate houses, or because of some issues, now the parents want their children to live separately. So might be what a genuine person will do as a father or as a mother, that person, he or she might sell his or her house, and with that house he or she will purchase two houses for two different children. Might be this can be a scenario, though Income Tax Act specifically doesn't use this example where father or mother sell the house and purchase the house for two children. No, they simply say that if your LTCG does not exceed 2 crore, you can invest even in two houses. This is what the main heading is. Investment in two houses is also allowed. Investment in two residential houses. Is also allowed as an exemption under section 54. But this is having separate condition. The main condition is condition number 1. LTCG does not exceed 2 crore. So it is not for heavy extra capital gains. LTCG must not exceed 2 crore. Second thing, if an option of claiming exemption, under section 54, if an option of claiming exemption under section 54 in respect of two houses is utilized in any year, it can never be utilized again. That means it is lifetime option. Only once in a lifetime, any assessee whose gain does not exceed 2 crore can avail this option. Once that person has availed this option, in future when he will sell the house and if he purchase two houses, then he will not claim this exemption again. He cannot claim this exemption again. It will, if an option of claiming exemption is, it will not be exercised again in any year. That's it. Or in the same year, in any subsequent year, or in the same year. This is only lifetime option. So assessee should choose carefully whether this benefit he or she wants to avail now, or he or she wants to avail in future. This is lifetime option only for those, and that too only for those whose LTCG does not exceed 2 crore rupees. That's it. This is what my entire section 54 is. You must read 54 carefully because all the other exemptions are totally dependent on section 54. So in this lecture we have covered section 54. You must read section 54 carefully, because if you will understand section 54, you will easily understand 54B, 54D, 54EC, E, F. These will become very easy for you to understand. That's it. Any problem, you can ask me. Otherwise, goodbye. So revise section 54. carefully from whatever material you have or from these lectures. That's all. Goodbye. Yes, Sanjay, any doubt?
Yes, sir. So when the assessee deposits the amount and as well as purchases the house before the filing date, will the amount deposited be taxed later on, or is it considered exempt?
No, no, of course. Why it will not be taxed later on if that person doesn't utilize the amount within the time limit? If by default, if it is not taxable again, everyone will deposit it.
Yes, sir.
So of course it has to be utilized within the eligible time limit. So technically in that case I can be having two houses in future. That will happen because one house I have purchased today. From deposit I might purchase another house. That can happen. That can happen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, goodbye then.